page 18. Ki gavna dile lemevechad beechad Yakira Kadisha Beraza De'echad Echad be'echad, 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 echad be'echad. One into one, one becomes one. One into one, one becomes one. One into one.
Join us.
One becomes one. One into one. One becomes one. One becomes one. One into 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 one. Ushemo echad. Shabbat echad be'echad. Ushemo echad. Shabbat echad be'echad. 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 Echad be'echad.
You can get up and move if you want.
Echad be'echad. Echad be'echad. One into one. One becomes one. 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 One becomes one. One into 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 one. Ushemo echad. Shabbat echad be'echad. 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 One into 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 one becomes 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 Ki gavna dile lemevechad be'echad Yakira Kadisha Beraza De'echad. Truer words were never spoken. That was actually planned.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to chat for a while.
Yeah, all right. I get
Shabbat Shalom. So, as some of you may have seen in the newsletter, today we are going to engage into a chant Shabbat. So, we're going to weave chants, mantras, and some songs, most of which you're familiar with. Some of them will be new to you, but the idea is to engage. Now, you can engage by chanting along with us. You can engage by listening. You can engage through movement. You can engage through drumming. I don't know if you can see right in the front here, I've got 6, 7, 8 drums. I'm playing this one. So help yourself to a drum that you can play throughout the service. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Yeah, right now. Yeah. If you want, come and get a drum, and then maybe after you've drummed out, you can share it with somebody else in the community before the service is over. Yeah, we got all shapes and sizes. I got another one here. You can pass out to someone. So chanting and mantras is an art and a science. Cultures have been integrating chant and mantras since the beginning of human history, not only for religious practices, but even secular engagements. Now, they didn't have fMRIs, EEGs, or other technology to track the effects of chanting on the brain, so they must have had anecdotal experiences, right? There's a reason they kept doing it that must have created some sort of positive impact in their lives. In Hinduism, they have the Gayatri. Buddhism, many chants, actually that comes from Hinduism, Om Mani Padme Hum. In Christianity, the Lord's Prayer of sorts is a type of chant. It's a phrase that you repeat over and over. Catholicism could be the Holy Rosary. Native American spirituality, many tribes have mantras and often engage with the drum and dancing to enhance and make it a whole body experience. The word mantra, I'm kind of a linguist fanatic, so I love to know where words come from. The word mantra is Sanskrit, and it is man, which means mind, and tra, which means release. So they knew engaging in a mantra would help the person release their mind. Release their mind. Mantras, that word is more framed in a spiritual context, but not too different from chants. Chants are a repeated rhythmic phrase, typically one that is sung or shouted in unison by a crowd. Now, different types of chants. If you've gone to a sports event, you've heard chanting, right? Seahawks, right? It creates a sense of unity, right? Synchronicity when people are chanting at a sports event. Oftentimes we use chant in protests, right? What do we want? Change. When do we want it? Now. Yeah, see, there you go, right? Sometimes we chant to ourselves, oftentimes as a beseeching prayer. Oh, please let me get through this day. Please let me get through this day. Or please heal me. Or please let me not screw up on this talk, right? We chant to ourselves, often in a prayer framework. We can chant positive mantras to ourselves, right? I can do this. I am calm. I am capable. Sometimes, though, unfortunately, the opposite side of that coin, we can find ourselves chanting negative phrases. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Or, oh, I'm such a loser, right? I think probably everybody in this room is guilty of some sort of negative self-mantra. And words have power. Words have power. It's no mistake that a phrase repeated over and over and over is used in so many different contexts. So humans have been using the rhythm and structure of mantras and chanting. Now we do actually have the technology to track what's going on in our brain and body when we chant. Studies of the brain have shown that chanting can help synchronize the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, promote a relaxed state and induction of alpha brainwaves, sometimes even delta brainwaves, which is deep meditation just before sleep state. And if this is not a motivator, I don't know what is. The synchronization of the left and right brains has been shown to slow cognitive decline. That's incentive right there. Research has also shown that engaging in chants and mantra can slow down respiration rate and heart rate. It can help with focus and with meditation. Sometimes silent meditation is hard. Silent meditation for me is hard. I need to have some sort of structure, whether it's music or whether it's humming or whether it's chanting. So tonight we're going to engage in different types of chants. Some have short phrases, some have longer phrases, some are calming, some are energizing. So permit yourself to engage in each chant or song, as I mentioned, in whatever manner works for you. You can be still, you can move, chant out loud, chant to yourself. And just be mindful that people around you may be engaging in a different way, so everybody give each other space. So the next ritual we have in a Shabbat service is to talk about our tzedakah. Tzedakah, as Rabbi Olivier often mentions, is literally translated into justice. So we give what we can to support others in our community. And for the first quarter of this year, half of the money we gather for tzedakah is going to go to an organization called Solid Ground, which works to end poverty and undo racism and other oppressions that are root causes of poverty. They help families keep and obtain housing and support to overcome poverty and to thrive, to try to break the cycle. So we have a purple tzedakah box in the back of the sanctuary. If you are watching from home, if you go to the website betalef.org, you'll see a big red button in the top right-hand corner that says Give. Click on that, and then you have an option, a drop-down menu, and you can choose tzedakah, knowing that half the funds will go to Solid Ground. So while people are sharing their tzedakah, we're going to have people come up to light candles, and while we do that, we are going to engage in a chant that is 3 languages: Arabic, Hebrew, and English.
If you are lighting candles, please do come up and light your Shabbat candles.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallahu. La ilaha illallahu. Adonai hu ha-Elohimu. Adonai hu ha-Elohimu. It's all one and I
Wow, we have lots of wonderful candle lighters tonight, and I am not sure if I'm going to be able to put names to faces. So I'm going to start here with David Krupkin, who is lighting a candle for his grandfather, Harold Magid, on his 23rd yard site. Let's see. Karen Dunn, yes, Karen Dunn. Next to David is Karen Dunn, is lighting a candle for her grandson, Jack Hoffman's 5th yard site. On that same day, 1 year later, his brother was born, so she is also celebrating Gil Hoffman's 4th birthday. And we have Sharon, who is lighting 2 candles today. Sharon Mayo, one to celebrate her 70th birthday on February 8th. Woohoo! And also one to celebrate her 46th anniversary of being alive from an airplane crash. All right, we're going to need that story one day. Barry Lewine is lighting a candle in memory of Barry's father, Robert A. Lewine, on his yard site. And I have a blank for Carol Grant. Someone is lighting a candle for Carol for her grandmother, Anna Ansell, on her yard site. Her grandmother was described by her father as a woman of valor. She raised 2 children on her own through the Depression era. Carol has fond recollection of the cheese blintzes she made for breakfast during her annual visits. Okay, let's see. I have Greg Siegler here lighting a candle to celebrate that today would have been his father's 99th birthday. His name was Peter E. Siegler, MD, and was born on February 2nd, 1924 in Budapest. He passed when he was 89. We have candle lighters joining from home. Oh yeah, did I miss anybody? I am so sorry. Here, Jackie, you can.
Yard site for my father, who would be over 100, and he died on January 30th, and it was the anniversary of when my husband and I got married some years later. The same month.
Michael Lewine, Barry's brother, also here for our father for his 11th yard site, and also in honor and memory of my sister-in-law, Janet, who many of you know, who passed 6 months ago.
Thank you. Okay, now at home, we have some virtual candle lighters. Barry Rain Thudeman is lighting a candle for her friend and Seattle Jewish community member, Mads DeShazo, who passed away on January 25th at the far too young age of 33. Mads was a staff member at Kadima, a community organizer, nurturer, artist, singer, and passionate supporter of Jewish life and Jewish justice. She was a friend to Bet Aleph and generously offered her time to help us with our anti-racism efforts. She was a deep and real friend and was loved by thousands of people. Her presence will be so greatly missed. Barry is also lighting a candle for her childhood rabbi, Mark Golub. Rabbi Golub introduced Barry to the joy of living in Jewish community and made Judaism come alive for her. He had a larger-than-life personality, played the accordion, and hosted many Shabbats, sitting on the floor in a circle singing Jewish songs with all the kids participating. He was her rabbi for her bat mitzvah and has been a lifelong friend of her whole family. He will be greatly missed. I also have Stephanie Hitzroth on our candle lighting list, and I know she was here earlier, and I'm not sure where she went, but she is lighting a candle for Nathaniel Friedman, who passed away on January 28th, son of Robin and Stewart and brother of Sam Friedman. May he rest in peace.
I would like to put in Susan Austin's name, who has had surgery and is a member of this congregation, and wishing her a speedy recovery.
And whatever else you are holding in your heart, whatever you would be lighting a candle for, lighting up the darkness, we'll hold those thoughts and prayers as we cover our eyes and say the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Thank you. So we're going to engage in a chant. If you have drums, feel free. Feel free to engage in any way you wish. Now, this is a chant that came to me while I was driving on the freeway. Actually, it's not the only chant I'm going to share tonight that came to me while I was driving on the freeway. Seriously. As you know, there are many names of God, the divine, in Jewish tradition. So we're going to share 4 of those names in this call and response chant. It's Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohim, and El Shaddai. The call response format is very common in the Vedic tradition, called a kirtan. So this is going to be done in a kirtan format. And again, if you have drums, if you want to get up and move, if you want to chant with us, if you want to chant internally, that's what this evening is about, for you to engage in what works for you. Adonai, 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 Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Elohim, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adonai, 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 Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Elohim, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adonai, 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 Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Elohim, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adonai, 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 Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Elohim, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adonai, 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 Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Elohim, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adonai, Adonai, Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adonai, 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 Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Elohim, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adonai, 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 Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Elohim, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adonai, 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 Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Elohim, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adonai, 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 Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Elohim, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai. And just sit in silence for about a minute. You may open your eyes if they're not already. So, we're going to hear a song that we have not done at Bet Aleph before. You may have heard it before, but it is for the Baruch Hu. And I want to talk about it briefly. It's a great song. Noah Aronson is the composer. The song has a melodic phrase that repeats like a melodic chant. And if there's you're not familiar with the words, there's a lot of yai-da-dying, so you can join in for that. But what he says in the words, so the Baruch Hu is within it, but he starts with, Baruch Hu is we want the divine to listen to us, right? And the Shema is more receptive. We are listening. But before he gets to the phrase, are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Before those lyrics are in the song, the first two phrases are, am I awake? Am I prepared? And I love that because before he says to the divine, are you listening to my prayer? he's like, wait a minute, am I awake? Am I prepared to get into that state of consciousness where I am connecting to the divine, opening this line of communication with the divine? So I just thought that was very powerful. I love the way he structured it. This is an energetic song. So we're going to rise in a moment. We're going to say the Baruch Hu, and then please stay standing and engage in the song through movement, through the eyes, through drumming, and just embody the message of the Baruch Hu. So everyone please rise. We say together, Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavarach. Bless the Eternal, the one who is blessing. Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is the Eternal, the one who is blessing eternally. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yada-da-da-da, 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 yada-da-da-da. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yada-da-da-da, 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 yada-da-da-da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Le'olam Va'ed. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yada-da-da-da, 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 yada-da-da-da. Please be seated. Now, I briefly talked about the different chants within different spiritual paths. Hinduism, it's the Gayatri, which I learned many years ago. Om Bur, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam, Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonaha Prakshodayat. And they would have these mala beads, and that's how they would count. That's how they would stay focused. I think there was 108 comes to mind. I don't know, is 108? Okay. It's the thing, I don't know what I had for breakfast, but I remember 108 mala beads. I don't know. But then you go through it, you say the Gayatri, there's a short and a long version, and every time you say it, you go forward on the beads. It allows you to maintain focus, because sometimes when you're chanting, you can go off into another wavelength. So the mala beads help you stay focused. Jewish tradition, Olivier talks about this frequently. The Jewish mantra is the Shema. And the Shema is more of the receptive end of the communication. We have just kind of called out, it's a call to blessing, and now we are shemaing. Now we are listening. This is the other chant that came to mind on the freeway. I haven't done it in a while. So I just want you to receive. Just receive the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Just take a few long, deep breaths. We're going to engage in the V'ahavta. And this time, I want us to do it where it's just above a whisper. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך ושכבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לעליכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמת. So tonight is not only Chant Shabbat, but around the world, this Shabbat is also Refugee Shabbat. And to talk more about that tonight, Susan Hoffman.
Shabbat Shalom. This Shabbat is Highest Refugee Shabbat, a time for us as a congregation and as individuals to dedicate a Shabbat to refugees and asylum seekers. Now, Highest, the organization that has sponsored this, was founded as the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society in 1902 to assist the Jews fleeing pogroms in Russia and Eastern Europe. Although Highest started because there were Jews in need of its assistance, it continues its service to a more diverse group of refugees under its new abbreviated name because of the same Jewish values and history of oppression and displacement that were present when it started in 1902. We know that immigration has been somewhat of a political hot potato in our country since its founding. And many of our ancestors came to the U.S. before immigration laws were tightened considerably in 1924 by the Johnson-Reed Act, whose quotas heavily favored British, Irish, and German immigrants and reduced the overall numbers allowed. Those, like many of our ancestors who came from farther east, were viewed as too different to fit in with the America many envisioned. So does this sound familiar, this rhetoric? Even if the players are different today, people, politicians, shall we say, are still saying essentially the same thing. But now we know the consequences of these attitudes and laws. We know about the terrible fate of the Jews denied admission to the U.S. as a result of the quotas in the years before and during World War II. So why should we care what happens to those fleeing gang violence and drug wars in Central America today? I would turn it around and say, why should we not care? I don't want to close my eyes to what is happening elsewhere in the world, as many in the U.S. did to the Jews trying to escape the Nazis. Some of you might look to the Torah to guide your actions, which tells us to love those who are strangers. Others might see our own family stories reflected in those seeking to come to the U.S. today and want our country to do better this time. But let's say you do want to do something, right? That's the purpose of this Shabbat. What are you supposed to do? I mean, you know, I'm an old lady with a bad back. I really don't want to go marching down in Olympia or something. But seriously, there are many things you can do, both large and small. There's a local organization called the Jewish Coalition for Immigrant Justice Northwest, which seeks to be a one-stop shop to provide you with opportunities. It was started in 2017 by some local people who wanted to bring a Jewish voice to this issue. Lynn Carroll of our congregation was an early supporter, and she inspired me to get involved. You might be familiar with the organization through its monthly newsletter. Some of you are on the newsletter mailing list directly, and for others, you can read it through a link in our Bet Aleph newsletter. I know that this newsletter seems overly long, but if you scan it, you'll see that it provides many opportunities for you to move the ball forward with respect to immigrant justice. Many actions can be taken with a click of your mouse from the comfort of your recliner. There are also opportunities to show your support for or opposition to particular legislation and policies right on in the newsletter just through clicking a link. If you're inclined to participate in events other groups are undertaking, you'll find those events in the newsletter as well. Today, as part of the highest refugee Shabbat, the Bet Aleph board has elected to show our support of refugees by participating in clothing and supply drives. The particular ones are operated by two different organizations, Colectiva Legal del Pueblo, a legal services organization, and Aid for Immigrants in Detention Northwest, which works with people in and being released from the Northwest Detention Center in Tacoma. And links to enable you to donate are in our Bet Aleph newsletter. This doesn't have to involve a big expense. People coming from warmer climates need gloves and hats as well as coats. People leaving the detention center need t-shirts. They need books to help them learn English. Gift cards are always welcome. So whatever your motivation, I hope you will take a moment after Shabbat to honor our Jewish teachings and our Jewish history by helping out today's refugees in this small but still important way. Thank you.
I thought it fitting that we chant Hillel's phrase, "If I am not for myself, who is for me?" which talks about the importance of self-care and making sure that your well is full so that you can support others. The second half, but if I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? You will find this chant on page 22. Me, li, me, li. Im ein ani li mi mi li mi li mi. Im ein ani li mi li li. Im ein ani li mi mi li mi li mi. Im ein ani li mi li. Im ein ani li mi ni li mi li mi. Im ein ani li mi li. Im ein ani li mi mi li mi li mi. Ein ani li mi li. Ursheni לעצמי money 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 money. ואם לא שווה מתי. אם אין אני לי מי מי לי מי לי מי. אם אין אני לי מי לי. אם אין אני לי מי מי לי מי לי מי. אם אין אני לי מי. You can chant along. אם אין אני לי מי מי לי מי לי מי. אם אין אני לי מי לי. אם אין אני לי מי מי לי מי לי מי. אם אין אני לי מי. וכשאני לעצמי money 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 money. ואם לא שווה מתי. We have now come to the portion of our service where we engage in the Amidah. That is on page 8. We actually open the Amidah with a chant, Adonai Sfatai, which we're going to let go on a little bit longer than usual. Adonai Sfatai tivtachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Eternal One, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. And we rise. Adonai Sefatai Titaku fi Yagi V'Yagi Tehillah Tehilatecha Adonai Sefatai Tivtachu fi Yagi V'Yagi Tehillah Adonai Sefatai Tivtachu fi Yagid V'Yagi Tehillah Adonai Sefatai Tivtachu fi Yagid V'Yagi Adonai Sefatai Tivtachu fi Yagid V'Yagi Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah v'Elohei Rachel Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Konei גאולה לבני אליהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע. מחיי חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומכיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה ורעיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. Please be seated. So tonight I want to briefly touch upon the Parsha because it's a memorable one. This is one of those portions that even non-Jews have heard of. And it's actually one of only 13 Shabbats that have a name. This is Shabbat Shirah. What does Shirah mean? Song. How appropriate. It is the song of the music of the divine, the Sabbath of song. So why is this the Shabbat, the Sabbath of song and music? Well, this week's Torah portion is Beshalach, Exodus 13:17 to 17:16. Don't worry, there won't be a quiz. And within that story is Moses parting the Sea of Reeds. And it includes the song of the sea. And if you remember looking at a Torah, maybe Simchat Torah, where we have the whole Torah open, or maybe you've just remember seeing this before, it is the artwork. So usually in the Torah scroll, there's two columns, and it's justified, it's very straight. But during the Song of the Sea, you can see there is a separation of the words, sort of like the sea that was parting. And later on, in the portion was a song described as being led by Miriam, dancing with the women in joyous celebration of their freedom after they crossed to the other side. Now, Miriam represents the element of water. They have just crossed through a passage where the waters parted. Some actually use that metaphor as a birth or a rebirthing of the Jews, having that passage through the Sea of Reeds as the birth canal. The water breaks, and they emerge on the other side. Now, water has a very special connection to sound. Sound travels through water 4.5 times faster than sound travels through the air. That is why, if you're underwater, you can hear the whale song that could be miles and miles away that you would not be able to hear necessarily if you were listening to it through the air. It's a conduction of sound. In fact, when you create sound in your body, as we've been doing tonight, through mantras, through chants, through singing, and even through humming, which we're going to do in just a moment, it stimulates the water that is within the ear canal. It vibrates it. You've probably seen water respond to sound and see the water vibrate. So that is happening in our ear. It is also happening in our sinuses, those areas where there's more water. But of course, we're made up of 60% water, so it's vibrating all over our body. So the vestibular system in the ear is connected to the vagus nerve. You may have heard of the vagus nerve. It's referenced in books like The Polyvagal Theory and The Body Keeps the Score. It is a central nerve that goes down the middle of the body that connects to almost every single major organ. So when we chant, when we hum, when we sing, we are actually sending vibration to every single major organ in the body through the vagus nerve. Now, if we chant something supportive, that can have a positive effect on our nervous system, right? If we chant about something negative, I'm such an idiot, right? That can have a negative effect, right? Have you ever seen, I'm trying to remember the name of it, maybe one of you will remember, where they take an image of water crystals when sound is applied to it, and when the sound is harmonious, it forms these beautiful, like snowflakes, right? Yeah, right. And if there's discordant sound, it cannot make that shape, right? So just think about what we're doing to our molecules when we engage in sound. So I want us just for a few minutes to engage in a practice I learned when I did my sound therapy training, which is humming, but not, no tension. We want to relax the jaw because we're creating an air pocket, right? It increases the vibration frequency efficiency. We keep our jaw relaxed. We barely have our mouth closed. It may tickle your sinuses, right? It's vibrating the fluids in there. But just to hum for a few minutes. When I did my training, the goal was to hum for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening. And more if you can. But in the final project of our training, the teacher talked about someone from an earlier class who had done her final project just on humming. And she worked with a gentleman who was kind of reclusive, had arthritis, very secluded, didn't want to socialize. And the only thing he started to do differently was to hum for about 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening for 3 months. And at the end of those 3 months, some of his arthritic pain diminished. He started to volunteer at a men's shelter. He opened up. So we're going to engage in the power of humming. There's books written on it. You can Google it. I'm not making this up, I promise you. And again, remember the jaw is relaxed and the mouth is barely closed. Inhale. Just keep it going, the rhythm of your own breath. The tone doesn't matter, the pitch doesn't matter, the sound performance doesn't matter. It's just the generation of sound. one final breath. Inhale. And just exhale. Just take a moment to check in with your body. If you feel anything different. I call this type of work ruby slippers. We carry its power everywhere we go. We wear it all the time. It's accessible all the time, anywhere. Just a simple hum. So I was talking about Miriam, represents water, the prophetess, Aaron's sister. After they crossed the sea of reeds, she took a tambourine in her hand, and all the women followed her with tambourines and dancing. Miriam sang to them, "Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its riders he has hurled into the sea." So that's the metaphor. And what I like to equate it to is trying to leave behind the negative chants, the negative mantras. Leave that behind and pass through a rebirth to remind yourself of the mantras that you say to yourself that are supportive and loving and caring and self-affirming. So there is a song that Debbie Friedman wrote, and it's one of those songs that you gotta get up and move to. This is a lot of energy, so please stand up. If you have a drum that you want to engage with, engage. If you've engaged with it and you want to pass it on to someone else, please share it. This is called Miriam's Song, and it is on, I wrote it down, it is on page 26. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which holds history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances toward the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels follow Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought a sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrel follow Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're going to dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrel follow Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. Please be seated. Everyone take another deep breath. We are going to take a few moments for meditation. And we are going to guide that meditation through a chant about the breath. And so, as I've said all along, engage in it in whatever way resonates with you. You can sing and chant with us. You can chant to yourself and listen. You can drum. The chant is every breath a prayer, every breath a prayer, every step a heartbeat, every step a heartbeat. Every breath a prayer, every breath a prayer, every step a heartbeat, every step a heartbeat, every breath a prayer, every breath a prayer, every step a heartbeat, every step a heartbeat, every breath a prayer, every breath a prayer, every step a heartbeat, every step a heartbeat, every breath a prayer, every breath a prayer, every step a heartbeat, every step a heartbeat, every breath a prayer, every breath a prayer, every step a heartbeat, every step a heartbeat, every breath a prayer, every breath a prayer, every step a heartbeat, every step a heartbeat, every breath a prayer, every breath a prayer, every step a heartbeat, every step a heartbeat, every breath a prayer, every breath a prayer, every step a heartbeat, every step a heartbeat, every breath a prayer, every breath a prayer, every step a heartbeat, every step a heartbeat, every breath a prayer, every breath a prayer, every step And keep your eyes closed. Just following the natural rhythm of your breath. Think about parts of your life, parts of your being that are in need of healing. As we share the names of people who asked to be on our healing list.
David Mark, Daniel Clark, Maxwell Bernard, Jane Colombini, Lynn Carroll, Eileen Wellens, Lawrence Stern, Elizabeth Heath, Amy Austin, Katie Ann Berry Cortez, Stan Sims, Mary Allison Castleberry, Shelley Prince, Ed Diaz, Melanie Grimes, Linda Zabigli, Tom and Cynthia Curran, Brandon O'Brien, Marianne Tierney, Carol Covert, Helen Mossbroker, Maggie Pisner, Elaine Lees, Cynthia Diaz D'Andriano, Sandy Newman, Roberto Vasquez Sandoval, Juan Reyes, Roni Shapiro, Margaret Bergman Ness, Shoshana McDonald, Lydia Edwards, Diane Goldberg Weber, Zoe Suter, Blythe Horman, Kalish Leviel, Amy Lau, Ruth Petersky, Howard Levin, Heather Yeager, Lee Shalloway, Ed Hoffman, Brad Weiss, Paul Whelan, Carl Martin, Hank Wilcox, Chris Riley, Ann Troy, Carol Standish, Lynn Tetro, Bill Bonenberger, Anuska Perkins, Donna Glosser, Linda Dimitriev, Michael Schmidt, Susan Austin, Bate Nagel, Claire Petersky, David Brode. We name in our hearts anyone else in need of healing.
each other, heal the world, heal our lives, heal our heart, heal the planet. Na refana la, ana elna refana la, ana elna refana.
And as Diana opens the ark for the Amidah, we shall turn to page 10 and we rise, or not 10, I'm sorry, 12. We turn to page 12 and we rise.
And this is an opportunity to use your inner imagination because the rabbi has the Torah at his house or in his office. So remember the candle lighting, right? That the lights of the candles represent externally what's going on internally. Mm-hmm. So we're going to open the energies of the ark. Visualize your inner Torah. Visualize your inner Torah. I do like the black. It's the void, right? Yeah. It's the space. All right, here we go.
We are the ones given this way of praising the Holy One of all being, that we might understand and express the greatness of the one who shapes all creation. We celebrate our uniqueness and that of others, and seek to discover the wonder that we are. Therefore, we bend the knees, we bow, and we proclaim our gratitude before the ruler of all rulers, the Holy One of all being. As it is said, then we shall truly realize the Eternal One as universal being, and on that day, the unity of being shall be celebrated by all.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, Shemo, Ushemo Echad. We are now going to engage in the Kaddish, which in itself, again, is a chant. It's a repetition. And there's a reason that we say it over and over and over again. Extolled and hallowed be God's great name throughout the creation, willed by the eternal. Let's say the English again. May the kingdom be established in your lifetime and during your days, and within the lifetime of the entire house of Israel, speedily and soon, and let us say, Amen. May the great name of God be blessed forever and ever. Blessed, praised, glorified, and exalted, extolled and honored, upraised and lauded by the name of the Holy One of blessing, beyond all the blessings and songs, praises and consolations that are ever uttered in the world. And let us say, Amen. May there be an abundant peace from heaven, and life upon us and upon the whole household of Israel, and let us say, Amen. May the one who creates harmony above make peace for us, for all the household of Israel, and for all the peoples of the world, and let us say, Amen. So I am going to read the names whose memories we are going to hold in our hearts and our minds. Those who have passed away in recent weeks and within the last month: Kathy Friedel, Mary Pat Graham, Lee Keno, Maz Deshazo, Rabbi Mark Golub. And those who have passed within the past year: Phyllis Levin, Marion Meisinger, Leonard Shaw, Dr. Joanne Margaret, Dr. Murray Mulliken, Robert Plotter, Donald Medow, Leah Vedder, Simon Garcia, Ira Horowitz, Alan White, Estelle Delson, Peter Rothenberg, Jeanette Lewine, Maggie Green, Patty Chemnick, Jonathan Stahl, Herb McDonald, Bobby Williamson, Salim Matt Grass, Denny Oswald, Susanna Stern, Jerry Spivak, Mary Oakley Anderson, Carol Klepper, Craig Wilson, Chuck Balch, Rosella Stern, Susan Jo Runyon. And we share the names of those individuals whose yahrzeit we are honoring at this time of year: Jack Hoffman, Harold Magid, Robert Lewin, Anna Ansel, Deborah Batts, Mike O'Connor, and Dzenik Elias. And we share in the mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, B'chaye Chion u'v'yom echon, u'v'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ul'almei almaya. Yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit haleh v'yit halal shemei d'kusha berechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. V'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony above make peace for us, for all the household of Israel, and for all the peoples of the world, and let us say, Amen. You can be seated for just a moment. I'm going to ask for Melissa. She's going to be sharing some announcements. Here she comes. I tell you, Melissa is the mortar between the bricks. She is amazing. She makes the engine turn and keeps Shabbat flowing, and we're just so grateful, so grateful, so grateful. Behind the scenes. There you go.
Okay. Hi. I have a lot of fun stuff to talk to you guys about. Oh, you can see I'm not a professional. Sorry. So the first kind of announcements I want to send out are for our community, our Bet Aleph members. We have some community conversations that the board has invited you to. So please keep out an eye for an email. This is basically just a great opportunity to connect with others, and it's an important time to share experiences and ideas as we plan priorities for the future of Bet Aleph. And we really want to have this conversation with you. So I'm going to be sending out an email with new dates. Just let us know what dates work for you, because we really want to work with everybody and find time that everybody has. I know we're all so busy, and just kind of prioritize what dates work best for you. So that email will be coming out. We also have a couple really fun member things this week. We have our book club on Monday. If you haven't read the book, that's okay. They're once a month, every Monday. We've got a great group. We meet on Zoom, so you can register. There's a link in our newsletter, or you can email me, administrator@BetAleph. If you're on our app, there's also a group, and they chat all the books that are coming up. It's really fun. Also, we have our Bali Speakers Forum. That's going to be on the 15th of February, also on Zoom. We have Kalish LaVille as our forum speaker this month, who's a spiritual leader at Center for Spiritual Living up in Bellingham, I believe. So that's going to be a really good one. We love for all our members to come hop onto there, and then we put the recording up for everybody to see afterwards. Also, Purim is coming March 3rd, exactly a month away. It's going to be Earth, Wind, and Fire theme. So dig in your closets, throw on your 70s garb, come on down. It's going to be a great time. They are wonderful. They are working so hard. They put on the most spectacular service. Don't miss it. Be here. With that, we also have Hamantashen baking parties. We have a couple wonderful members who've opened up their homes. I'm going to send an email for that as well. So if you're interested and you're local and you want to stop by, please come bake some Hamantashen and bring it to you when you come to Purim. And then we also have the annual meditation retreat. There's been emails sent out about this to our members. We've opened the registration for everybody. It's the last weekend in March, March 31st to April 2nd. It's in the Rainbow Lodge in North Bend. I'm going to be there. You should be there too. It's going to be great. And then lastly, the Kabbalat 201 course is going to start February 21st. If you've been in Kabbalah 101 course with Rabbi Olivier, you know how wonderful and mind-expanding it is. So please make sure you register. it is a new registration. If you're on the 101 course, you still have to register for the 201 course. And it's free, donation-based, so please don't let that stop you. Yeah, I think that's it.
Did you have a question? No, actually, I just wanted to say that the retreat center where that's going to be at the Rainbow Lodge
Yeah.
in North Bend is absolutely heavenly. Frank and I went up just to drive up to kind of pre-check it out to see.
Oh, you did?
Sure, we can get to the proper place and all. And it is a little confusing near the end because they keep the signage on the roads subtle, so I guess so they're not swamped with people, strangers
Oh.
on the property, but it's otherwise just a beautiful building surrounded by lots of trails and glorious nature.
Sounds lovely.
Really lovely.
So hopefully that sold everybody. If you were listening, sounds wonderful. We'll see you there. Check-in's at 5 p.m. on Friday, and checkout is at 4 p.m., I believe. Yeah. Okay.
And for those of you at home who may not have heard what Deborah was sharing, she said they have been to Rainbow Lodge and said it's absolutely beautiful, lots of trails, and just a stunning place to have a meditation retreat. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa.
Please join us after services downstairs for the oneg. I actually took a little peek when I went downstairs, and it looks good, so please join us for that. And we are going to end with a chant. Who knew? This is on page 18, and it is Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, I am as I am. And again, if you haven't engaged in the chant, stand up, drum, move, sing. Everybody up. Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, Ehyeh Asher Asher Shabbat Shalom.